Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Tasmania's extensive new crossbench of MPs are warning they aren't signing a blank cheque for the Liberals, calling for a better working relationship. But their potential support does clear the path to government for Jeremy Rockliff, now set to announce his cabinet.
Races run and won. The makeup of the next Tasmanian House of Assembly has been decided.
I'm thrilled to have been elected and feel very honoured by being trusted with people's votes.
35 members elected for the first time since 1996, with 13 new faces joining the ranks.
I would like to be somebody that truly listens to our community and champions the issues that really matter to them.
I'm in Parliament now. I can't be ignored. I have significant resources and staff, so that makes a lot of difference when you're a lone voice and running on a budget of $10.
An 11-strong crossbench will determine how successful and how smooth governing is for the Liberals, who need to find 4 supporters there on every vote. Key independents aiming to provide certainty and stability.
I think honesty and integrity are very important aspects that the government needs to improve on. Sometimes the government aren't going to get it their way.
That doesn't mean that it's a blank cheque. It doesn't mean that I'm going to roll over and have my tummy tickled.
The former Labor leader left with only the Liberals to deal with.
But I must admit I was surprised at how quickly the white flag was flown. It's all about leveraging those negotiations, and the Labor Party dealt themselves out of that.
The Jackie Lambie network will be the key players, close to finalising a deal with the Liberals.
They've been elected off the back of no policies, no positions. Who knows where they're going to stand on these big issues affecting Tasmania?
7 Tasmania News understands Jeremy Rockliff will be announcing his new expanded cabinet tomorrow. Jackie Petrusma won't be on that list. Instead, she'll be taking on the role of Parliamentary Secretary to the Premier.
This role allows me to take a whole of government perspective, to get to know the issues of importance to the voters of Franklin as well as the people of Tasmania.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
And despite not being elected in Clark, John Kamara will continue campaigning, announced as Labor's candidate for the upper house seat of Hobart. Last year's Tasmanian Australian of the Year adamant the Parliament needs diversity.
Politicians need to think when they make decisions about the community, about all layers in the community, all perspective in the community.
He'll be contending with the Greens' Cassie O'Connor and independent Charlie Burton for election on May 4. There are warnings from the building sector tonight. Tasmania's housing construction industry is facing a dire downturn. It comes as a major building franchisee in Hobart falls into insolvency, and the sector deals with ongoing worker shortages and increasing prices.
A tumultuous period in Tasmania's housing and construction industry. Master Builders Tasmania releasing new data, forecasting a 20% drop in new dwelling starts for the next financial year.
The main reason for these changes, firstly, next year it's still a flow-on effect of the cost of housing associated with higher interest rates. But then after that, it's really the lack of workers that we have in our workforce.
Those that have made upfront quotes on building things are finding it very hard to fulfil that build for the price that they had quoted originally because of the increasing costs.
With only 15,000 construction workers in the state, the group says there needs to be 40,000 workers to meet demand.
We haven't been getting the number of students out of schools that we were hoping for. We need to improve in that space, but beyond that, we still need a lot more than the schools can deliver.
The release coinciding with the recent collapse of GJ Gardner Homes' Hobart West franchisee.
It's a GJ, it's a GJ, it's gotta be a GJ Gardner Home.
Its operator, LV Built Homes, entering liquidation on April 2.
I feel for the tradies and the subbies who are not going to get paid. I feel for the homeowners whose lives have been wrecked by the collapse of this housing company.
It's just a horrible situation. I certainly feel for the families and people involved.
GJ Gardner CEO Trent Gardner says the situation is unfortunate for all, with the company using means at their disposal to help customers find other local builders to finish projects.
Look, this is really sad news. Sad news for the workers, sad news for the business, and of course sad news for those that are hoping to have their homes built by this company.
Mark Zita, 7 Tasmania News.
Meanwhile, 2 University of Tasmania buildings are about to hit the market. Purchased in 2018 and 19, Hobart's Mid-City and Fountainside hotels house more than 170 students, while a 422-bed complex underwent construction. UTAS says the proceeds will be used to upgrade its teaching, learning and research facilities, in particular the redevelopment of IMAS Taroona. Expressions of interest for the hotels open Thursday. A 52-year-old male police sergeant has been stood down after being charged with 1 count of assault with indecent intent. The offence is alleged to have been committed in Launceston in July last year. The officer wasn't on duty at the time. He's due to appear in the Launceston Magistrates Court next month. Local car dealerships are concerned Tasmania doesn't have adequate infrastructure to handle the looming influx of electric vehicles. Pressure is now on the state government to develop a strategy to manage the transition.
Opting for a cleaner mode of transportation, more Tasmanians are going green, with around 4,000 electric vehicles brought online in the past 4 years.
Government's projections, if we're going to meet our climate change commitments, point us at around 45 to 50,000 electric vehicles by 2030.
Tasmania looking at a long road ahead. Businesses concerned about the state's lack of infrastructure.
There wouldn't be one site that I have, and we have 10 sites, that has the capacity to have a 100 kilowatt station, which means we've got to get the grid upgraded.
The pressure and cost of a fast charging system, another bump in the road.
We've got evidence of dealers who've gone out and planned their charging infrastructure according to their franchise agreements. Some of them are talking, $600 to $800 to $1 million per site.
We're calling on the government to pay for this sort of infrastructure. Again, the businesses are very happy to pay for the power, but they shouldn't have to pay for the infrastructure to support the government's policies.
The Liberal Party says it recognises the increased demand for EV infrastructure and will continue to invest in initiatives like its Energy Saver loan scheme, providing no-interest loans to eligible applicants purchasing charging equipment. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
A 20-year-old man and a youth have been charged after allegedly assaulting a man with a baseball bat in Queenstown in the early hours of yesterday morning. Police say the altercation took place on Knox Street around 4:30, describing it as an isolated incident. It's believed the parties were known to each other. The 36-year-old victim has been taken to the North West Regional Hospital with serious head injuries. The accused are expected to front court on assault charges at a later date. 4 dedicated Tasmanian emergency service workers have been honoured for their bravery after pulling off a heart-stopping river rescue last year. The group risking their own safety to rescue a mother and her child from a sinking car. Both miraculously escaped unharmed.
This tail race car park mishap could have easily ended in tragedy. A mother and her toddler plucked from their car after it plunged into the Tamar River, quickly filling with water.
The car was sinking very fast, so it was underwater within minutes of us actually getting both mother and child out.
It wasn't that much longer that the roof of the car was only just showing above the water, so it could have been a lot worse.
Quick thinking first responders wasting no time pulling off the heart-stopping rescue.
Before you knew it, we were at the car. Fortunately, there was enough room in the windows for me to be able to force it down and get the kid.
Took out all our electronic devices and jumped in after him pretty well.
Working together to retrieve the pair unharmed. The 18-month-old boy was returned to the riverbank completely dry.
Carried the child like Simba from The Lion King across to Stefan, who then took the child to the shore.
Today, those responsible humbled as they accepted honours for their heroics.
Any police officer or emergency service personnel would have done what we did, and we were just in the right space at the right time.
I feel like I was just doing my job, really. I was sort of a bit of a surprise when I got the letter.
You don't expect that when you go to work, really.
Just another day on the job for our frontline heroes. Victoria Risto, 7 Tasmania News.
A group of Year 12 students has gone out of its way to help Tasmanian women struggling with their health. Farnes Rowing Club selling 200 pairs of teal socks during February, otherwise known as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. More than $1,500 raised for gynecological cancer group She.
Gynecological cancer, it goes undetected a lot of the time.
So to spread the awareness, to get people checked out and to see what Scott's doing, everything with She, is a big inspiration.
This is life-saving for many women to have these girls, you know, inspired to go off and wear the teal socks and fundraise is just incredible.
The donation will help fund She's new wellbeing centre.
The Under-18 Basketball National Championships are underway and Tasmania's had a good day on the court. The women nabbing an 80 to 55 point win over Western Australia. The men holding off a resurgent Queensland South this evening to walk away with an 88 to 85 point win that came right down to the final second. Our under-17 netballers have also finished day on a high, 1 from 2 on the first day of the National Championships with a 33 to 25 win over the ACT. The under-19s attempting a final quarter comeback in their game against South Australia, but falling 3 goals short. While 2 wins in a row wasn't enough for the under-16 boys to finish third in their pool at the Hockey National Championships. They'll play off a 9th spot after unfavourable results in other matches today. The girls unable to secure a win, going down at 2-0 to New South Wales in their final pool match this afternoon.
Good evening. Showers persisted today about the west, with some snowfall about elevated peaks during the early morning. It was mostly fine elsewhere. Hobart, Devonport and Burnie all 17, 18 degrees for Launceston today. 17 the top for King Island, Wynyard, Low Head, St Helens, Friendly Beaches and Marai Island. 16 for Flinders Island and Bushy Park. Grove and Strawn 15, Lyowini 9 degrees after an overnight low of 0 degrees, although below freezing conditions at Kununyi, Mount Wellington, with a chilly -1. Cloud is seen about the west of the state, scattering across central parts. An onshore flow is pushing cloud across southern states. A cloud band sits over central New South Wales and extends into the Tasman Sea, containing embedded thunderstorms. Tomorrow, the large high will reach further across most of the country as the cold front passes to the south of Tasmania. West to southwesterly winds 15 to 25 knots, reaching up to 30 knots in the south. Southwesterly swells increasing up to 5 metres in the south and 4.5 metres in the west. Now, a strong wind warning continues tomorrow for coastal waters between Wineglass Bay to Low Rocky Point. Tomorrow, Hobart cloudy, 17, a shower or 2 for Geeston, 17 also, Bothwell 16. Remaining partly cloudy in the north, Launceston 21, Devonport and Cressy both 20. Cloud hanging around in Burnie tomorrow, 17, showery over Strawn 16, 18 the maximum for Curry. Grey skies for St Helens and Swansea 19, cloudy also in Orford, 18 to the top. Thursday, isolated light showers about the west and far south. The chance of an afternoon shower about the northeast and possible morning fog. Friday, foggy conditions continue followed by scattered showers about the west, far south and the northeast. Saturday, light showers about the west and far south, possibly extending to the remainder of southern and central parts in the afternoon. Sunny in Perth, Brisbane and Darwin tomorrow. Windy and possible showers in Sydney. Showers also continuing in Melbourne. Right now, 12 in Hobart, Launceston and also in Devonport. That's all from me this Tuesday evening, Kim, and I'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks, Kaya. We will see you then. And that is all your news for now. We'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.